We are here today providing real-time coverage on the humans behind this crisis of a time we are facing. We will be hearing candid thoughts and suspicions from Americans across the country tonight, and this is USA FM Radio.
Maddie and I are here today to interview the one and only Josephine Boyd from the Department of Treasury within our own government.
She will tell us all the ins and outs of what everyone is so unsure about that's happening to our economy.
I'll do my best, although I can't share too much. We figured as much, so let's get started. As a government employee, did you see these recent events happening?
I mean, honestly, not at all. With the huge amount of prosperity as we've been seeing, I honestly didn't expect such a rapid, drastic drop.
How do you think this will affect our economy in the future?
I don't think it'll have a huge effect on it. Ultimately, I think this will fix itself out. The economy has dropped and risen before. I'm sure this is just another, shall I say, bump in the road.
To this economic decline, what was the government's intentions toward the economy?
Prosperity, of course. We wanted businesses to survive and thrive. Speaking for the White House, we believe that the businesses themselves should run the economy. We didn't and still don't believe in government interference when it comes to the money. Well, I mean, besides the taxes, which of course we lowered.
So, based on that, I'm assuming the government isn't planning on stepping in and helping this case?
No, the government and I do not believe in government regulation toward the economy. We completely believe that the businesses and people should run the economy and don't plan on changing that anytime soon.
In the long term, how do you see this playing out? Do you honestly believe that this will just quote-unquote settle?
I mean, it's hard to say, but I do believe this is nothing to worry about. There's not much we can do except sit back and watch it play out. I honestly believe that this will settle itself out. I mean, they always do.
We've seen the prosperity in some cases. Are you saying that this will be true once again?
No doubt in my mind. America will be booming once again. Just you wait. This is nothing but a stepping stone to an even greater success.
All right. That's it, folks, for Josephine Boyd. Thank you for coming out, Mrs. Boyd. It was a pleasure talking with you. This is Stephanie reporting back to USA FM Radio. For our next interview, Robin and I are really here in the Big Apple with Mrs. Caroline James of renowned Wall Street investor Luther James. This is Stephanie reporting for USA FM Radio.
Mrs. James will be very candid with us tonight on the suspicions behind the stock market. Will you, Miss Caroline?
Yes, indeed.
So, what are your feelings surrounding the recent movements of the stock market?
In all honesty, I am severely worried about the current state of our economy. In all of my years, I have never seen the amount of distraught and poverty in New York City. I have heard talk of losing jobs and lifetime savings of many. I have even heard my own friends discussing selling their properties in the Hamptons. I hope I never have to sell my home. My Hamptons home is like a child to me.
How do you think that these changes will affect everyone else on a larger scale, Mrs. James?
Well, I can only imagine what it's like to worry about something so much more fragile than my own lifestyle. Living by paycheck is only something I could ponder about, honestly. In my own opinion, I think the whole country will feel how having to pull out stocks will impact industry and the lifestyles of many average citizens. Oh, the homeless epidemic I cannot even fathom. The unemployment rates could be so high I might as well start my own business and hire the ones who've lost. Oh my, that's such a great idea, Caroline.
Speaking of lifestyle, in what ways has your current lifestyle been impacted due to the rising financial crisis?
Oh, Mr. Robin, it has been nothing but tragic over the recent days. I have received what I can now presume as my last large allowance for a long time by Mr. James, since he wanted to treat me to a well-deserved treat. So I took myself to the Prada store in the square. I had seen this handbag at my previous visit that I have been longing for, and when I went to purchase it, the manager told me that they have not and may never receive the latest shipment of this bag, all the way from Milan.
Which Prada bag was it, Miss James?
Oh, I'm sure you don't know the name. Anyways, that wasn't even the worst part of my day. After the manager broke my heart with the devastating news, I saw a beautiful tote bag that was priced above my allowance money for the first time ever. I guess I never knew what it was like to be so poor. The manager tried to tell me that they had been facing tariffs placed by the U.S. and threats of a high unemployment rate in distributing facilities in the U.S. due to the financial crisis. I could not believe the gibberish this man had the audacity to say to me. Doesn't a woman get what she wants when she wants it? And then I got a phone call from my husband in a panic. he had pulled out of the stock market. At first I was angry, but then I just became sad. It was the worst day ever.
On that topic, Mrs. James, what suspicions motivated Mr. James to remove his shares from the stock market?
I may never know for sure, Miss Stephanie, but my husband does know a few people. Some of the higher-ups were preaching how the economy would fall due to the banks no longer being able to support the stocks being bought on margin.
And who are these higher-ups?
Well, the people in the White House, of course. They must have known before we all did.
Know what, Mrs. James?
The fall of fake money. Only real money survives. I'm sure everyone must know that the lavish lifestyle is only for the top, right? You cannot just have what you can never afford.
Thank you for the insight, Caroline. Since you already mentioned this, how is this affecting others? How do you think this will affect your own family?
I hope to never truly face such a tragedy myself, Mr. Robin. The worst case scenario would be relinquishing my Hamptons home, maybe selling my designer collection, or giving up on my trip to Paris next summer. I hope I don't have to give up any of those things.
Do you think anything detrimental to your future would occur, Caroline?
At worst, my children wouldn't be able to afford college, or we may have to move into a smaller home. I'm probably just being ridiculous, Caroline. God forbid.
Thank you for talking with us, Ms. James. And this is Robin reporting for USFM Radio.
For our next interview, we will be interviewing one of the most affected people in the business industry.
This is Elizabeth Rivera working in loan banks.
Hey y'all! I'm a banker from New York City. I am so happy to be here.
Hello, Elizabeth. We have a few questions for you, and we hope to get your clear and honest opinion. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, starting off, we want to know if, as a banker, you saw this coming?
I wouldn't say I saw this coming. I think once I saw people starting to pull their money out of our banks was when I started to realize things aren't looking good. I would be freaked out too if I saw people panic and pull out their stocks at the same time.
Yes, I was definitely freaked out myself. Now, Elizabeth, prior to the fall of the stock market, what did it look like when people would take out loans? Do you think this was good for the economy in the long run?
I mean, the concept of taking out loans was simple. People would put their savings into the bank and we would then loan out that money to other people who would then pay back these loans over time, allowing there to be money when the other people needed to take out their own savings. Now, do I think this was great for the economy? I mean, it brought what we believed was prosperity. Credit has been great, people get what they want, and we see growth. However, this wasn't real money, and this was soon made very clear to people.
Do you think you'll be able to recover from this? Will people get their money back? How sure are you of this?
I am not sure of anything. I don't know if we will recover. From people starting to take out their savings and rushing here, this might cause us banks to fail because we don't have enough money on hand. We loan out money to use, because of this new idea of buying on credit. We don't have a lot of money though. We rely on the people, so we aren't sure how we will recover from this.
Like you said, nationwide, we see banks starting to fail. Do you see this in your future? How will this impact the citizens to which you owe money?
This can be a possibility for us. We're seeing it more and more, and it's unlikely we are immune to this event. People every day are taking money out. Not in huge amounts, like not a lot of people just yet, but I'm sure the people using our banks will soon follow. And to answer your question, if people were to rush here and take their money all out, we wouldn't have the means to pay everyone back. People will lose their life savings, and it isn't the bank's fault. We can't make money out of thin air. We're just hoping to overcome this and come out unscathed.
All right, and that is it for Elizabeth Rivera. Reporting to you on USA FM Radio is Maddie. And we are here back at it on USA FM Radio. This is Maddie here with the farmer, Frank Iero. Hi, Frank.
Hello, young lady.
So, Frank, how has your farming business been impacted by the recent crash of the stock market?
Oh, darn. Work has been hard as of late. Barely been able to sell wheat, so we have to resort to lowering the price. But I could barely make a buck out here to pay my debt.
And how has this impacted the stock market?
Well, it's just a lot of debt from... Sorry, I gotta come back to you. My sheep are out.
That's it on USA FM Radio.